What is up, my viewers? Spang here, bringing you another World of Tanks co-op commentary. It is another viewer-submitted replay, so I always love those. This time it is Andrew 2012. This guy has sent me a previous video, if I recall correctly. I believe it was a Panzer 3-4. Anyway, I digress. That's not important. What is important is this match. It is an encounter battle on steps. Teams looking fairly even, actually. His team, the ARL, I believe, is now a tier 7 since the patch. So the enemy team having a slight advantage, in my opinion, in terms of tanks, but nothing significant. And right here, he's playing, like I said, playing as the KV-4, a tank I am actually kind of unfamiliar with. KV-4s, kind of uncommon, at least I don't come across them all too often. And right here, I'm going to assume he is typing. And that is the only reason I can think of why he would be running into the wall, or maybe he was getting some lag, or I don't know what was going on there, to be completely honest. But like I was saying, KV-4s, all I know is that they supposedly have really good armor and a pretty good gun. But beside that, I don't really know anything else. KV-4s are like STIs. You don't really see them that often. So, and right here, it's an encounter battle. Common strategy in encounter battles, kind of ignore the capture point and just cut straight for your enemy base, your enemy's base. Kind of try to get a flanking movement around them. Send 1 or 2 people to the capture point to spot for artillery, so artillery can prevent them from capturing it. But beside that, you try to cut around and come back around them and flank them, get on their rear, and basically hit them where they're weak. But, you know, most times it just turns into a slugfest, like it will be right here. Right there, getting a shot in the track. I was going to say, his side armor pretty exposed there. Artillery, no, an AR, I'm assuming that was artillery that just hit him right there. I can't think of anything else it would be. And considering it's tier 4 artillery, it is not surprising that it didn't do a lot of damage, because tier 4 artillery versus a tier 8 tank has very little effectiveness. Right here, he's gonna try to take on someone more his own size, Mr. Lowy, however you say it. Bouncing that shell, but he also bounced a shell off of himself, so no penetration, but also I guess he's still doing rather well for himself at this point. Enemy artillery kind of being a little too risky for its own good right there, you know, not really hiding all that well, and he obviously was completely oblivious to the fact he was spotted. Right here, our friend not doing too great on health. That KV-4 probably has a pretty damn good chance of getting through his armor. The low has a pretty good chance of getting through his armor due to the fact that the low has a high penetration gun. It is the second highest of all the tier 8s, if I am not mistaken. And the enemy sending a lot of forces to the capture point. So his team is in danger at this point of losing via capture. He wanted to shoot that ARL, but the ARL already getting killed. Mr. Low getting through his armor, like I said, not really, his armor not really doing much against that high penetration gun. Now the E2, chances of him actually getting through his armor are slim to none. He's either using HE or just nicking him in the tracks. I'm not even sure which. But see right there, bouncing a shell. The KV-4 angling his armor, not really doing himself much good. And it really does not look all that good for him at this point. Killing that Easy 2, was never a threat to him, really. But the low is still full health, and he is almost dead at this point. He just got hit by, I'm assuming, the low. That shell didn't look like it came from the low's gun to me. But, you know, right here, he is going to take another shot on the low, hitting that front wheel well to make sure he actually damaged it. I think he's going to get another one right here. The playing field being evened very fast between him and Mr. Low. Yep, right there. Now Mr. Low is no mo. So he got very lucky there, and also luck and skill. It's a mixture. That's what this game always is. A mixture of luck and skill. Already reset cap. Yeah, like I was saying, his team has plenty of artillery. But artillery cannot reset the cap because they do not have anyone spotting for them on the cap. Artillery can shell all day on that capture point, but unless they actually have someone spotting for them, they don't know if they're actually going to hit anything. If I was if I was artillery at this point, I would be just randomly shelling. There's no point to not just lob shells at random locations on the capture point, just because of how close it is to being captured. And right here, yeah, Andrew's saying the same thing. Just fire at the capture point. For the love of God and all things that are tankish, just lob shells, please. And they did, and they managed to reset the cap. So playing like they are supposed to. Tiger causing some issues for artillery, and Andrew taking that shot and missing. That's very unfortunate for his artillery. He will keep pulling forward, giving him another shot on that Tiger if he doesn't pull too far forward. It's looking like Andrew will be unable to help his artillery in this case, because right now priority is the capture point. And I completely agree with his decision. Head for the capture point. You have to reset that capture if you do not want to lose. And right here, the enemy team is about to capture it again. So unless that M6 or artillery can do anything to stop that, the enemy team has won at this point. Now he's telling the M6 to reset, and the M6 is fully on board. He will just rush in there and do everything within his power to reset that capture point, even if it means losing his life. And that's playing to win. Definitely my favorite strategy. Playing to win, not playing. There's, like I said in previous videos, there's playing to win and playing to not lose. Playing to not lose is when you try to just stay alive and say, man, we got a defeat, but I didn't die. Or you can play to win, where you just risk it and, you know, you throw that Hail Mary pass and you try to just take it on. Now, not enemy artillery, his artillery still actually alive and kicking. That Tiger managing to get taken out, and he's going to roll up on the enemy capture point right now. The enemy kind of just running in circles, trying to make themselves harder targets for artillery. And at this point, the enemy team is all but dead. Now, when in the email I got from this guy describing this, he said he was, you know, getting in the zone and the adrenaline was pumping. He was actually, his heart was racing and his hands were shaking. And trust me, man, I've been there. I've been there. Every time I get into a really down and out situation, a match which it looks like I am not going to win, and it is basically up to me to win it, that's when you feel that your heart start pounding and you get excited, and it's one of the really great feelings in this game. But it's also very very sad when you lose in those situations. But when you win, oh my gosh, that feeling is just incredible. Now right here, Mr. IS has quite a big gun, but not quite big enough to get through the KV-4's frontal armor if it is angled like it is. Now the KV-4 has, like I said, I don't fight them that often, so I'm not all that familiar with their weak spots. And I'm guessing most people aren't. The IS, like I said, not really having a good shot of bouncing that shell. I mean, not really having a good chance of getting through. Now, Andrew accidentally, I'm assuming accidentally, hitting that track. And the ARL moving in for the assists here, coming up from the south. And the enemy team down to their last two tanks. It is pretty much, I wouldn't say it's guaranteed victory at this point, but it's a very unlikely loss for Andrew at this point. Managing to come back from the brink of defeat and just absolutely take it to the enemy team, the T-44. Trying to be a little bit tricky using that enemy IS for cover, which is what you have to do. It's a smart play by him, no doubt. But it will not save him from artillery, which is why he's trying to stay on the move. Now, Andrew getting very lucky there to only lose a track. His side armor was exposed and he could have easily been taken out. I think the T-44 is potentially using HE at this point. Now, at this point in the match, I think he's probably dead. But the T-44 bouncing a shell, will he kill him in time? Yes, he will. Whew, that was a little close. So, it's pretty much a guaranteed victory at this point. Enemy artillery is going to be raining down upon that T-29, which can kill both the IS and him in one shot, but he first has to penetrate those shots. And that's not gonna happen. Definitely T29 getting himself killed right there. Andrew getting 6 kills, so he gets himself a Top Gun. He certainly got himself a steel wall, getting an incredible amount of experience. Definitely 2,000 is quite a lot. He is running premium, so that would be approximately, I would say, like 1,400 maybe. My math is not going to be exact, but 1,400 on a standard account. Either way, very impressive. It's very hard to break 2,000 on a premium account even. But getting 6 kills, damaging 2, and 19 for 21 shots. Taking 32 hits. That is very impressive. He gets himself Defender, Steel Wall, and Top Gun. Sniper going to that M6, so he must have had 100% accuracy. It's definitely unfortunate he couldn't get Sniper as well, but what can he do? He did inform me he got Mastery Badge Ace Tanker from this, so that, and no surprise there. Anytime you get over 2,000 experience, you are almost guaranteed, you're almost guaranteed Mastery Badge Ace Tanker. So, yeah. Anyway, if you like this video, click that like button. If you want to see more, subscribe. And as always, if you have a replay like Andrew did, send it to spanglereplays@gmail.com. I will certainly give it a look over, and who knows, you'll probably see it on this channel. There's nothing more. That's it. This is Spang, signing off.